I'm Tom Gertie. I'm Director of Communications and Initiatives for MIT.nano, and I am pleased to introduce the next brief section on our support for startups, both through MIT.nano and the Industrial Liaison Program. So joining us from the ILP Startup Exchange is Catarina Madeira, who will talk a little bit about the companies that they support and how they do it. I'll make a brief introduction to some of the START.nano companies that Vladimir alluded to in his presentation at the start of the day. And then we'll take a break for lunch, in which you'll have an opportunity to go next door, take a break, and meet some of the companies that are in our program and are here today to share with you what they're doing. So, Catarina, if you want to come up and tell us about ILP STEX, we would love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom, for the kind introduction. Hi, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here to tell you about our program, MIT Startup Exchange. Startup Exchange is a program led by MIT Corporate Relations, which is home as well to the Industrial Liaison Program, or ILP. The two programs are highly integrated. While ILP primary focus is to bring large corporations to MIT and connect them with the Institute resources, such as faculty, students, research projects, at Startup Exchange, my team starts by identifying and selecting MIT-connected startups. And together with ILP, we connect both parties to help them explore collaborations or partnerships based on common interests and needs. Our mission at Startup Exchange is to support startups grow and expand to ultimately help them solve the world's great challenges. So the startups we onboard in our program, all of them must have a very strong connection to the Institute. And for that, we call them MIT-connected startups. This connection might come through the founding team, the technology, or through their affiliation to some of our peers, of which Startup.nano is an excellent example of. Today, our program has a network of about 1,000 startups. These companies are mostly B2B, and they can be working and be located in any part of the world. And we typically start working with them when they reach pilot stage. With this, I mean that the startups are formally created, they have a team that is not student-led, and they have a technology or a product that is ready to be tested or used in a real environment. Now, within this broad network of startups, there's a group to which we call STEX 25, to whom we provide customized support throughout 1 year. For a startup to join STEX 25, first they are referred to us by a peer. We interview them all, and we end up selecting the ones that are a combination of a strong team, a solid technology, and a strong alignment with industry. We assign them to one of our colleagues at a Startup Exchange who will coordinate the support throughout the 12 months. We provide them increased visibility and connections to industry. Then at the end of the 12 months, they leave the group, but they can stay in the program for as long as they are a startup, and we'll onboard new ones to join. This slide features a very small sample of startups that we have in the Startup Exchange program. All of these are part of START.nano. I'd like to highlight Citration. Citration developed a new silicon membrane technology that enables ultra-efficient separation. This week we are featuring them in our website because they it was just announced a partnership with the corporate Rio Tinto. They are a mining company, and they're working together to recover metals and other compounds from the waters generated during the mining process. Now, when it comes to value, startups that are part of Startup Exchange are exposed to a global network of industry and to its decision makers. And by industry, I mean mostly ILP corporate members, while corporates have curated access to MIT-connected startups vetted by our team. Everyone in our network can participate at events. Corporate relations is very prolific when it comes to conferences and webinars. We organize over 30 throughout the year. Conferences are still taking place on a hybrid mode and include startup lightning talks. And while some events take place on campus, we do co-design and host events with members, and these can take place in any part of the world. This is one of the most valuable offers we have for both parties. For startups, because we take them to the markets they are exploring, they are aiming to enter, and to corporates because the events are tailor-made to help them achieve their goals. Our team also launched calls for startups. These calls are based on the priorities or internal challenges the corporates are going through, and any startup from our network can apply to it. A usual next step are curated meetings that we facilitate between both parties. And having said this, I'd like to highlight that our approach is highly customized and curated. I mean, we work with startups and corporates that are all different. They come from different sectors, they have different needs, and what sets us apart is that we don't provide a uniform response to their requests. And so we end up working with them in a myriad of different ways. Startup Exchange was created about 8 years ago, and in the past 8 years, it helped ignite many successful collaborations. This slide features a very small sample of those, and I've chosen the cases that we see, or the kind of collaborations that we see taking shape more often, and which include joint partnerships, demonstrations, and even acquisitions. If you'd like to learn more about our program, I'd be happy to chat over lunch. Thank you.
All right, a few more thoughts about START.nano. So as Vladimir explained in the beginning, there are a lot of resources in the Boston area for startups. Our particular contribution is built around our astonishingly complex and advanced facility. A lot of startups need the kinds of tools that are either too expensive to purchase or need environments that are too sensitive to build and are too expensive to build on their own. And so we want to try to remove those barriers to launching, reaching prototype, and then onto pilot stage as much as we can by offering discounted access to the MIT.nano facility. Can we go to the next slide? Is that me? Thank you. Yes, here we go. All right, so that's the core. When we're looking at companies, we put out an annual call for application. We make an assessment about whether the technology is a match for what our tool sets are and whether it looks like consistent and sustained access to those facilities can move the needle for these companies as they develop. What we offer from there is fairly simple. We say, come use our tools to develop your product and move your company forward. We will charge you less than typical external users. You are not required to be part of MIT either through IP or through affiliation with an alum or someone else. And we take no IP or equity or anything else that might dilute the value of your company. We really, truly, as Vladimir said this morning, want to give the kinds of hard technologies that we're going to need in the 21st century more shots on goal to develop and reach the marketplace. I won't keep us too long, but outside we have 11 companies invited to join us today that are part of START.nano. They are Active Surfaces, which is an ultra-lightweight, ultra-thin solar modules, recent winners of the 100K competition here at MIT. EduSim, which is creating realistic simulators for medical training and collaborative medical interaction over distance. They recently did a demonstration in Brazil in which a Mass General Hospital doctor was in our facility at MIT.nano collaborating with doctors in Brazil on neuroscience for neonatal patients. EVA Technologies is an AI solution for hardware. Interested to see them. I do not know much about them yet today, so we're going to take a look and see what they're about. Isentis LLC is working on precision grading for X-ray spectroscopy. And Gnome Devices is a good example of, I'll stop here to say, the range of companies. We are, I think, a good feeder system for our collaboration with ILP. Gnome is a new company. They have just formed. So we will take someone who has a degree and and a dissertation and a PowerPoint and help them to get started. We also support companies like Citration, which are at the other end of the line, forming international collaborations with major companies and getting ready to take the next step in their companies. Gnome is an example of one of the very earliest stage companies that we have admitted to the program. You can go take a look at their work outside. Citration is here. They are a company that was part of our pilot program, and we've been really pleased to see how support from MIT.nano, among a broader range of support that they've taken advantage of in the Cambridge and Boston area, has allowed them to develop from that degree and a PowerPoint to multiple employees and getting ready to move on to the next stage. Prodyne is also one of the new companies in our cohort. It's, as you can see here, a characterization-oriented company. Also eager myself to find out more about them since they've just joined the program, so we'll take a look at them over here today. And then 3 more, and I realize now that I think there's one missing from here, so I'll mention that. I'll start with TelAzTech in the middle here because it's another physical maker. They have nanotextured optics and have been around for a while, but this technology is still kind of emerging for them, and so I was pleased to see they've already made an industrial contact today to talk about whether there's a larger market for their technology. Check them out, and maybe that will be true for you as well. Surplex and WickedSmart, plus another company called EduSim, which is also out there, are 3 companies that are taking part in a new aspect of the program this year. We have built the program in the first few years around characterization and fabrication. MIT.nano is also home to the Immersion Lab. The Immersion Lab is an advanced facility for augmented reality, virtual reality, immersive environments. It's both a place where you can think about the sort of software storytelling environment side, but it's also a good crossroads for where the hardware and the software side of AR, VR technologies meet. And these companies are a good example of that. Oh, I did mention EduSim. Surplex is making motion tracking shoes that can actually extrapolate full body information. So they are a company that's going to be both active in our immersion lab, plus they may also be accessing fabrication capabilities at the MIT.nano to help them develop the technology. WickedSmart is working on in-home sensing as well as other wearable sensors for medical observation and prediction for people with neurodegenerative disorders. I'm really pleased to see them here today as well. Both of them are taking advantage of the immersion lab, and I hope you'll take advantage of the break that's coming up now to go and check them all out. Thank you very much.